Hello. I invite you to another part of our calm reflections on the book, Our Home by André Luiz. Collective Prayer. In the previous chapter, André Luiz was rescued at a moment of complete helplessness. Help appeared. Hope appeared. Chapter 3 takes us even further. Not only through space, but through spiritual experience. This time, it is no longer only about rescue. It is about the healing of the soul. André is carried like a wounded man. Weak. Exhausted. And yet, he begins to perceive something new. Before his eyes, an image slowly unfolds, one that soothes. Clarencio stops before an immense gate, set within high walls covered with delicate, flowering vines. This is the first clear boundary between the world of suffering and the world of help. Once it is crossed, everything changes. A gentle light appears. Not blinding, not abrupt. Subtle. Warm. Buildings set among vast gardens. Harmony. Order. This is not paradise in the sense of a religious reward. It is a space of work, care, and assistance. André is brought to a place resembling a spiritual hospital. He is surrounded by care. The attendants treat him with tenderness, with concern, without judgment. And for the first time in a very long while, he experiences something extraordinary. Being accepted without conditions. In a conversation with one of the attendants, an important explanation is given. The world he now inhabits is not a distant galaxy. It is not another star. These are spiritual spheres neighboring the earth. The same sun that illuminated his physical body also illuminates this world. The difference does not lie in the star. The difference lies in the ability to see. This is a deeply significant thought. The light was always present, but consciousness was not always able to perceive it. André realizes that, on earth, he never looked at the sun as a gift from the author of life. He was like a blind man who is only now opening his eyes. After a meal and a brief rest, the culminating moment of this chapter arrives. Music begins to flow into the space. It is not an ordinary sound. It is a melody that soothes the spirit, that brings inner order. André learns that in our home, collective prayer is beginning. All centers of the colony unite in a single spiritual act. Not individually, not in isolation. Together. Although André is still weak, he asks to take part. And this becomes a turning point. With effort, he rises. With unsteady steps, he reaches a vast hall. There is silence there. Focus. Expectation. There is no chaos. No shouting. No fear. There is attentive presence. On a great screen, an image appears. A magnificent temple. An elder surrounded by light. 72 figures in an attitude of prayer. Among them, André recognizes Clarencio. We learn that he is the governor of our home, and that all homes and institutions pray together with him. This is a profoundly important image. Prayer, in Kardecist Spiritism, is not an act of isolation. It is an act of community. When the singing begins, the space fills with vibrations of peace and joy. A symbolic blue heart appears. golden streams of light, a rain of heavenly flowers. This is the language of images, the language of the Spirit. It is not about literal meaning. It is about inner impact. André experiences deep renewal, not only physical, but above all internal. After the prayer, he returns to the patient's room. But he is no longer the same spirit. The first collective prayer in our home has transformed him. A heart that had been empty and tormented for years begins to fill again. Not with ecstasy, not with euphoria, with hope. This chapter reveals something very important. Prayer is not an escape from suffering. It is a process of ordering consciousness. It does not work because someone has earned it. It works because the Spirit opens itself to a higher order. And often, it is not solitary prayer that heals us, but prayer in which we allow ourselves to be carried by the community. Are we able to allow prayer to carry us, rather than treating it only as our own effort? In the next chapter, we will see how André begins to understand the new principles of life in our home. The journey is only beginning. If you have not yet had the opportunity to listen to the previous chapters, we encourage you to return to them. This story forms a whole. Each chapter deepens the previous one and allows us to better understand the path that André Luiz is walking. Only together do they reveal the full meaning of this spiritual journey. See you soon.